Hello, welcome to episode 7 of the Week in Retrospect. I'm Mark Morse, and I'm going to go over some records I've been listening to, movies I've watched, things that have been happening in my week. But I always like to start with the vinyl for my vinyl community friends. So let's get right into it. Yesterday, I got this in the mail. Bob Dylan, Infidels. This came out in 1983. This was after his Born Again phase, those trio of records. This was considered his return to secular music, though there's obviously a lot of religious imagery still permeates this record. I've always liked this record, but I wanted to get it again on vinyl. So I got it yesterday, and I was just amazed. I've forgotten how much I love this record. There is not a bad song on here. That's the inner sleeve. Those are some other Bob Dylan records you might be interested in. Anyway, there's the song list. I hope you can see it because I can't see the camera. Anyway, just side 1, Joker Man, Sweetheart Like You, Neighborhood Bully, License to Kill. Side 2, Man of Peace, Union Sundown, I, and Don't Fall Apart on Me Tonight. Every one of these songs are a winner. I think my favorites are Sweetheart Like You, Neighborhood Bully, which is pretty poignant these days, Man of Peace, Union Sundown, and Don't Fall Apart on Me Tonight. Every time I list my favorites on a Bob Dylan record, I find that I'm talking about just every song on there. Anyway, this came on Friday. I've been enjoying it the last 2 days. The other record that I've been listening to a lot is The Clash, London Calling. This is my OG copy. I'm not going to take it out of this plastic just because there are so many seam splits and it's in really bad condition. But I replaced it with a reissue. And this is, what can you say about The Clash, London Calling, except that it is a fantastic record. This cover is based on the Elvis Presley record. I'll put a little picture up so you can see them. But this iconic cover, just great songs. It's a double record, came out in 1979. And this reissue, very close to what I remember my OG being. Lyrics and everything. A double record without a bad song on it. London Calling, Brand New Cadillac, Jimmy Jazz. Hateful, Rudy Can't Fail, Side 2, Spanish Bombs, The Right Profile, Lost in the Supermarket, Clampdown, The Guns of Brixton, Side 3, Wrong'em Boyo, Death or Glory, Coca-Cola with a K, The Card Cheat, and then Side 4, Lovers Rock, Four Horsemen, I'm Not Down, and Revolution Rock. And right after Revolution Rock, it's not listed, but Train in Vain is also on this record. Just an incredible album. I just in a serendipitous moment, I've noticed that Jack, the music guy, has done a video on this record, and then Emma from Vinyl Low has recently used the Clampdown song as her song on the day on Instagram, and it all just kind of came together, and I'm like, I'm going to be listening to this record a lot this week, and I certainly have. Just a great album. They've kind of gone beyond their punk phase in this, still punk enough, but they explore reggae, ska, just plain hard rock stuff in there. Just an incredible record. and I enjoy it very much. With each week in retrospect, I like to shout out at least a couple vinyl channels that I've been enjoying lately. And this time I want to shout out Jack at the Vinyl Voyage. He's my Scottish friend. Just a funny guy. I just love his videos. He can talk about whatever. I always end up with a smile on my face when I watch Jack's videos. So Jack at the Vinyl Voyage. And then Sean at Vinyl Sean. I've mentioned Sean a couple times before, but when I was over on his channel today, I noticed he's not quite at 100 subs, and his videos are just getting better and better, and I'd like to see him go over 100 subs. So if you haven't checked out Sean at Vinyl Sean yet, go check him out, and if you like, sub him up. He's so close to 100, and I think he'll take off here in a little bit. I'll link to both of these channels below in my description. If you remember last week, I showed a lot of Ring camera footage from my home. Well, this week I found a couple more that I thought would be interesting. They're not as creepy as some of the ones I showed last week, but I thought they were kind of fun. And so this first one I call Bumble Bee Cam, and you'll see why. Let's take a look. This next Ring camera video, it's just a glimpse of a storm that I think it was about a year ago actually, just happened one night, and the storm was powerful enough that it triggered my Ring cam. I just thought it was an interesting video and I wanted to share it. So let's take a look. Later in this video, you'll see one of my vinyl community friends gifted my dog Elsa with some great presents. I'm not going to spoil that now, but it reminded me of this footage I'm going to show you now. This is from my Blink camera, which is inside my home. Because of videos like I'm going to show you now, I eventually disconnected it because it was kind of heartbreaking. But this is a video of my dog. This is probably about a half an hour after I'd already left for work, and you can tell she's misses me. Then this next video, we're back to my Ring cam. This is my front door Ring cam, and there was a couple that lived near me, a couple years ago. They weren't here very long, but while they were, they provided a lot of entertainment for the neighborhood, and they would get into these spats and have these very public shout outs. I have 3 of them here, and I've just linked them together, and I'm calling them Lovers Spat Rounds 1, 2, and 3. Take a look.
I love you. I'll be a phone to you. If you love me, stop, Belinda. I will. Belinda, if you love me, stop. Stop. Stop and walk home with me, Belinda, please. I'm begging you for my heart. Belinda, listen. Belinda, please don't run with me. Belinda, please don't. Belinda, please. Can you hear me, Belinda? Belinda, listen. I'm going to be chasing you. You started chasing me after me letting your cat in. Why are you going this way? Because you lied to me when I was in the house. You're making a mistake right now. You're making a mistake of your life. What is wrong with you? Look how you're dressed. Please, I beg you, man. Stop. Come here, give me a hug. No? Yes. I'm going to go to work. Please give me a hug. Please give me a hug. I'm going to work. Stupid fuck. Please. Please. Belinda, fight me in your heart. Why are you so evil with me? love you. Come here, give me a hug, something work. That's all I'm asking.
Sometimes during my week in retrospect, I like to talk about books I've been reading or have read or interested in. This week, I decided to read some poems from my very own book called Blue Rooms. Um, I had read some on another video recently, and I thought, this might be a nice thing to do on my week in retrospect. I'm not sure how often I'll do it, but I thought it would be fun to do this. My poems are usually very short, so it'll be painless most of the time. This first one, though, I call it The Angel. He would watch her from a distance at the coffee shop. She was there every afternoon reading a book by Proust or some equally intimidating tome. He forgave her the reading of books in public coffee shops because he was happy just to see her there. He didn't believe in much, but he was beginning to believe her presence was a gift, a reward, a means to purification. She drank her coffee slowly and deliberately. He believed that all suffering would someday amount to something, that all unsatisfied longing would make him pure. He drew religious scenes on his arms with razor blades, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Sometimes her lips moved when she read complex passages. He rejoiced in this. He pretended she was chanting a mantra. The beaded necklace she always fondled while reading was a rosary. He didn't believe in much, but he was beginning to believe the light through the window across the wooden table was telling him something. He touched the pictures on his arm. The Father, the menacing figure in an easy chair, angry, cruel, full of gin and bitterness. The Son, quiet, hiding under the desk, while the monster crashed through the house grumbling for the boy. The Holy Ghost, sunlight through a window at a coffee shop. She turns a page. She is young and smart and always sits alone. The pictures on his arms always healed and went away, blood stains on his long-sleeved shirts. He didn't believe in much, but he was beginning to believe in angels. He was careful not to stare. He watched her in glimpses and from odd angles. The shadows from the window panes formed crosses on the floor and tables. He thought of how the blood looked, dripping to the wooden floor at home. All suffering would amount to something. All longing was made pure. All wounds would heal. The angel moves her hair from her eyes and takes a drink of coffee. He drinks his hot chocolate. This is communion. The coffee, the bagel on the napkin, the beaded necklace, and her holy books. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. He becomes dizzy and feels faint. The angel looks up directly at him. Her eyes are clear and concerned. He forgets to turn away. He wants the blood to leave his veins. He wants the purification to be complete. He wants to believe all suffering will amount to something. The darkness comes in from the outside of his vision and fills in quickly. As he blacks out, he sees the angel fly. The room begins to speak in tongues. He is beginning to believe in something. That was The Angel, and that was one of my longer poems. I don't usually have patience to write those kind of poems, but that one came out very spontaneously, and I just liked it. This next one is called Squeak Toy, and it's kind of associated with the same reason I showed that picture of my dog wailing for me after I went to work. Oh, she looked right over at me when I said that. Anyway, this is called Squeak Toy, and it's about Well, I'll read about it here. Squeak toy. It was blue and it oinked. Oinked just like a hog. When in use, it created a canine frenzy that produced enough energy to power a microwave, a hairdryer, an electric can opener, two small desk fans, and a cell phone charger. The excitement was maddening. The noise, the frantic motions, the silence exploded by activity and sound, heart-pounding, slobber-inducing anticipation, and uninhibited joy. Pure adrenaline and chaos. At 6:33 p.m., it just sat there, blank eyes and dirty, motionless, like a forgotten landmine or a used-up birthday toy. The silence is a tidal wave in our lives. We rest. We rest and look for distractions. But we're heavy now, fat with gravity and blood. Maybe tomorrow again. Maybe just for a while. And that was Squeak Toy. And those are my two poems I decided to read today. I hope you like them. If not, I'm going to put chapters on all these weekend retrospects so you can just skip the stuff you don't enjoy and go right to the stuff you do. So now we're at the part of the video where I just review my week. This will be a pretty quick review this week. There wasn't a lot going on, but some things of note. So I start with last Sunday and I go all the way to today, which is Saturday, September 7th. Sunday, honestly, I don't remember much about it. I do remember that I took my niece Lily out for lunch. I didn't get any video or anything, but I did get this fine picture of Lily and I. Monday was a little more exciting. I woke up and I took Elsa, my dog, and I went out to get myself a very manly coffee drink.
Order whenever you're ready.
Could I get a large pumpkin caramelicious blended
Okay.
and then a pup cup?
Anything else?
Nope, that should do it.
All right, go ahead and turn around, please.
Later that Sunday, I got a phone call from my niece Lily, and she said that her and her mom were making some pie, and she wanted me to come over and we could eat some pie and watch a movie called Sucker Punch, which is a movie I've been wanting to watch with Lily for a while. So, of course, I went over there, and that's exactly what we did.
Everyone has an angel. But don't let appearances fool you. They can be as fierce as any dragon. Yet they're not here to fight our battles, but to whisper from our heart, reminding that it's us. It's every one of us who holds the power over the worlds we create.
So Sucker Punch is a movie that Lily has liked for a long time, and she's talked to me about it often. So this was the first time I ever got to see it, and I was glad I saw it with her because she's such a fan, and it made it more exciting for me. So let me tell you what Wikipedia has to say about Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is a 2011 American fantasy action film directed by Zack Snyder. It is Snyder's first film based on an original concept. The film stars Emily Browning as Baby Doll, a young woman who is committed to a mental institution. As she collects items she needs to escape, she enters a series of fantasy worlds where she and her fellow inmates are strong, experienced warriors. The film was released in both conventional and IMAX theaters in the United States. The film received generally negative reviews and underperformed at the box office, grossing just $89.8 million against its $82 million production budget. So the film obviously didn't do very well at the box office. Lily mentioned that to me several times before I even watched the movie, that it didn't perform very well. That stuff never bothers me because I tend to like underappreciated films. This movie I thought was very good. It combines kind of different genres. The CGI part of it was very fantastic, and I imagine that's what people that do enjoy it enjoyed the most. Very complex CGI battle scenes and stuff, which I also enjoyed. But to me, the story of the women in the institution was so intriguing. I was eager to get back to that. They kind of used the CGI segments as a dissociative state or a fantasy that Baby Doll went into when she was facing something traumatic. Anyway, I like the storyline without the CGI more than the CGI parts itself. They were effective, and it was important to have that in the film. I liked watching it and interpreting what was going on, but I was so much more intrigued with the story. So if I were to make a criticism, I would cut those scenes just a little shorter. But that's me. I'm not into the CGI stuff as much. I liked it and I was fascinated by it. And if I saw it on an IMAX screen, I'm sure I would have been just blown away. I thought it was a great story. I liked the characters. I especially liked Baby Doll, the main character. And then there's this reveal at the end, and it's not a super surprising reveal. You kind of, at least I did. I started kind of telling Lily what I thought was going to eventually happen, and most of it did. There were some details I hadn't worked out, but it wasn't a great reveal, but it was still a satisfying reveal to me. Anyway, I can understand why some people would not enjoy this movie. I enjoyed it. I'd probably give it a 3 to 3.5 on a scale of 5. I enjoyed it mainly for the story. I like the trauma part of the story. Just that's my profession. I work with traumatized kids, and so I like anything that kind of deals with confrontation of trauma. But I like that. I like the characters. I loved watching it with Lily, who loves the film. You know, when you watch something with somebody who enjoys it so much, it does give you more appreciation for the movie. I would be hesitant to recommend it to just anybody, but if you like that action fantasy stuff and a great story set in a mental ward with a woman who's been framed, it's entertaining. Whenever I'm at Lily's house, she has her menagerie of odd and exotic pets. This time she wanted to show me the molts from her tarantulas. So she brought out all of her jars of tarantulas and a few other friends. And let's roll that clip.
These ones are my electric blue tarantula. So that's how big the babies were when I first got them. They kind of tore their old ones up. I don't know why they did that when they were itty bitty.
So these are all molts?
Yes. So these ones are all my pink toe tarantula. This one's pretty cool because it stayed in one go. You can see those teeth. And this is her latest one that I just picked out the other day.
And that's still the pink-toed one?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can see pink on there.
Yeah, so she is even bigger than this molt is now. And then this is my electric blue. Hopefully I'm trying to get the blue to shine in a way that picks up on the camera and not just to myself.
I see it there. You know, it
There
looks
we go.
purple. That's really cool.
And then this one is also very recent. I don't know why they like synced up like their periods. They all molt at the same time. I don't know why, but so this one is even bigger than this molt is now. And this is a recent molt from my curly hair that I just got. And I think this is going to be his last molt. And he is a boy, so I think the final stage after this one is going to be him going in a bottle like this.
So this is the actual tarantula.
Yes, this is a Mexican red rump, I want, or not red. That doesn't sound right.
So what's that solution?
Just isopropyl alcohol.
If you drank that, would it make you high?
I think it would make your mouth taste really bad.
Oh.
And it would also turn you into Spider-Man. This is a praying mantis. That's not mine. I just found it outside dead. So,
Oh.
yeah.
It was probably praying to its maker just before it
I
passed.
prayed that it would end up in a bottle on Lily's shelf.
That's awesome.
Those are my critters.
Tuesday was full of surprises. When I got home from work, there was a package in the mail from Steve at All the World's a Stage, one of my favorite vinyl community channels. Steve had sent me 2 packages. The first one arrived and Steve said, "Hey, don't make a video with that because the second package is coming and they go together." And so on Tuesday, that second package arrived, and they were gifts for my dog, Elsa. Elsa's birthday was in August, and Steve found out about it and sent some birthday gifts for my dog. I made a little video about this. It's called VCLT from All the World's a Stage is Going to the Dogs. You can watch that if you like for the full story. But I want to show this little clip from that video where Elsa is enjoying the gift she got from Steve.
There you go.
Thanks again, Steve. Elsa really does enjoy that squid toy, and she hasn't destroyed it yet. And everybody just loves her little handkerchief. The other surprise on Tuesday was my friend Colby and her daughter Lily, that I talk about all the time. We decided we were going to go to Applebee's. So that was Colby, her son Ethan, Ethan's girlfriend Emerson, and Lily. And here's a picture from the other side of the table. This is me and Lily with a little boy that Lily watches. Wednesday is another one of those days. I don't remember a lot about it, except that I got a call later in the evening saying there was an emergency at work. So I work in a shelter group care setting with kids, mostly from the ages of 12 to 17. In the state of Iowa, the shelter and group care situation is just getting drastic. They've been funding has been cut down. Several of them have closed. There's just not very many left, and so kids that aren't really suited for shelter life are placed there because there's no place else to put them. So we are getting more and more violent kids, and so staff are getting sent to the hospital more. We have almost riot-like conditions sometimes out there, and that's what happened on Wednesday night. I got a call that one of the residents had beat one of the female staff and sent her to the hospital. So I went out to the shelter that night to do what I can to calm the situation. By the time I got out there, most of it had taken care of itself. There were still some issues going on, but I decided to go to the ER and visit this woman who is like the kindest, most gentle woman. It's always these kind, gentle women that are getting hurt in these things. And so I went to the ER to visit her, and as I was leaving, I saw something that just gave me a little hope. You got to find beauty wherever it is, and here's my little video of leaving the ER. As you can imagine, after a Wednesday night like that, Thursday at work, it was a pretty low morale day. But afterwards, I gathered some of my friends together, and we went down to a local tavern called the Tom Tom Tap and enjoyed each other's company. And then when I got home that evening, I treated myself to Alfred Hitchcock's Ghost Stories for Young People.
An ordinary owl or cat. And they make such a fuss over simple things like the fluttering of a bird's wings, a girl's voice on a summer evening, or for that matter, a dripping faucet, as we seem to have here. But you and I are above these things. However, it might be best for me to get a wrench and turn that water off completely. While I'm doing that, why don't you listen to the first story, The Haunted and the Haunters, or The Pirate's Curse. It's about the housing shortage some years ago.
So Friday night is my movie night with Lily. We have decided to make Friday the day that we get together and we choose movies and watch them together. And this week's movie was a movie called Carol.
No. I feel useless, like I can't help you or offer anything. It has nothing to do with you. I'm going away for a while. When? Where? Wherever my car will take me. West. Soon. And I thought perhaps you might like to come with me. Would you? Yes. Yes, I would.
So let me tell you what Wikipedia has to say about Carol. Carol is a 2015 historical drama romance film directed by Todd Haynes. It is based on the 1952 novel The Price of Salt by Patricia Highsmith. Lily had read that book and she actually had it out while we were watching the movies. I'll talk about that a little more. The film stars Cate Blanchett, Rooney Mara, Sarah Paulson, Jake Lacey, and Kyle Chandler. Set in New York City during the early 1950s, Carol tells the story of a forbidden affair between an aspiring female photographer and an older woman going through a difficult divorce. So Lily had read the book and she loved the movie. It was her suggestion that we watch it. And it's a great movie. I really do like the movie. But again, Lily had that book out with her and she was telling me, you know, how as usual movies kind of tone down the literature, and she was telling me, you know, the difference between the book and the movie. The movie's a great movie, but for example, there's a scene where they're driving through the Lincoln Tunnel, and as we're watching it on screen, Lily's reading the excerpt from the book, and it just gave so much context. I just felt really fortunate to watch that movie with Lily, but I really enjoyed the movie. The early 50s is the time period, and they did such a great job. The cinematography is great. You really feel the time period. It has a really solid soundtrack, and then the story is just so intriguing and heart-wrenching, and there's just so much going on, and just a very satisfying film. I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. Maybe even a 5. It's a relationship movie to me, and I wouldn't even call it a romance movie, even though there's romance in it. To me, it's more textured than what I think of romance films, but I really did enjoy the movie. Of course, after the movie, it was feeding time for Lily's creatures, and so I got a little footage of one of her favorite lizards. She names it Karlach, after a character in a video game called Baldur's Gate. You'll see a picture of Karlach in this clip, but So that brings us to today, Saturday. And what I did this morning, first thing I did is I looked up Garage Geek's Friday night chats. I enjoyed his Friday night chats, and in fact, that's what inspired these weekend retrospects. And he was talking about he made a trip to Palm Springs and he saw a sculpture of a spider built out of an old car.
And then you have to park in the Jack in the Box, and then there's a fence, and you kind of go around, and then you can see this. But it is private property. But I went on it anyway. It wasn't too difficult. Now the spider is actually made out of a car, and it's really neat, right?
So I told Garage Geek in the comments that Iowa has its own spider sculpture made out of a car, and that I had seen it once on my way to Nebraska. It's out on West Iowa, and we got some pictures of it, and I wanted to show a picture here just to show Garage Geek our spider. Unfortunately, I don't have very many good spiders pictures. The one that I do have, it was at dawn and the sun was just coming up, and so it's not the greatest picture, but here it is. So that's this week's Week in Retrospect. I'll be back next week to cover Sunday through Saturday again. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it interesting. So that's it for this episode.